Well, thank you everybody again for joining. My name is Amy Salinas, and as you all know, I am your facilitator for the Vista Blend pre-service orientation that you are involved with, Class B Vistas, of which you all are a great group, and I'm so excited to have you guys on for the first time. This will be the first of 2 meetups that we have during your before we begin, I'd like to start with just a few logistics that can maybe help ensure our online experience is as smooth as possible, knowing that there are always hiccups along the road. So just let's begin with a couple of logistical items. One, if you've done so already, because we hear some background noise, if you can go ahead and mute your phone when you're not speaking. There may be times where we open it up for verbal speaking. So if you can, if you have that function, just hit the mute button, or if you don't, simply hit *6 and that will mute your phone for you. So again, if you haven't done so already, it looks like a lot of you all have. Please make sure you do that, and that'll help us with the background noise. Second of all, if you have a question or want to comment, we will be using the chat feature quite frequently throughout the web meeting. So you will find on the top of your screen a chat option that you can click on. It has a little speakers box above it. If you click on that, you can send a chat to everyone so that we all receive it. If you have a specific question to me or having problems, feel free to send me a specific question or comment, but hopefully all of yours you can send to everyone. And I will specifically be asking you at varied times to send chats and comments to everyone as I ask you to respond to maybe a question or two throughout our WebEx meeting. And then third, I just want to make sure I'm trying to mark attendance as you all are going along. And I'm just jotting down who is logged in on the computer side of things, which also means that probably there are a few people I'm missing. If you are on with, like there are several of you on one computer, can you let me know through the chat function? Just type in your name of your other Vistas that are with you, because I'm only seeing one name and there may be like 3 of you gathered around one computer. I know that happens frequently. Or if you're on the audio portion only, you may be having trouble with the computer side, feel free also to verbally let me know you're here. I am going to go through just those who I have not marked as present, and let me know if you are there, and you can again send me a chat or just say something verbally. So I just see Alexander just joined. I see you. I do not have Lorena Anderson or Margaret Brown Vega. Caitlin Dunsing, Hannah Gauntz, and pardon me if I'm saying your names incorrectly, Jaleesa Gray, let's see, Carolyn Hammond, Charity Kamanja, Ruth Lopez, Hung Liu, Bailey Pfeiffer, Anushka Raha, and Marcus Varner. Those are the people that I do not have marked as in attendance. So if I missed you, let me know. Again, you can also send me a chat just saying you're there. I'll check the chat at a later date and make sure I mark you as present. Okay. Get those logistics out of the way. Okay, thank you, everybody. So we'll go ahead and get started with our official WebEx meetup meeting. And again, I want to just welcome everybody. This will be one of 2 web meetings that we will be having over the next few weeks. And if you haven't noticed already, I know in the initial webinars, they told you all that your web meetings were going to be on the Wednesday of the 2nd week and the 4th week. But because of conflicts I had with my schedule, we had made arrangements to change my web meetings, and those dates are accurately presented in your Blend course. So when you log into your Blend course and scroll down to the web meetup section, you will see the accurate dates for our particular group's meetup. So those have been posted since you initially logged on. And I apologize for any confusion. You know, the original webinar might have caused with the dates that I place, but I'm traveling quite a bit, so needed to arrange it a little bit differently. So thank you for your flexibility and for being on with us today. As you all know, my name is Amy Salinas, and I am your facilitator for this online course that you are taking, your pre-service orientation.
There's no sound.
And
yes, actually. Thank you.
If you all can mute yourself, I greatly appreciate it. We hear some background noise. I'll go ahead and maybe I can mute everybody. I'm going to just scroll down real quick and do that so we don't have any other interruptions. There we go. Okay, so as I said, my name is Amy Salinas, and I'm your facilitator for this blend course. I've been in national service for 20 years and been involved with the Vista pre-service orientation for 10 years, and it's my great pleasure to be with you all today and through this 4-week course, and to be kind of your guide as you navigate through your different learnings and experiences. As a former AmeriCorps member myself, I know what it's like to get started at your site. There's a lot of excitement and anticipation going on, maybe a little bit of some nerves that are starting to build up with you as you're learning about your responsibilities for the year. So I really do appreciate all that you're taking on right now. I recognize that you all have a lot going on. Just from reading your 7 things, I know you have just a lot going on in life. And on top of that, you're starting at a new place with new service responsibilities, in addition to taking a 4-week orientation course that you have field assignments that are a part of it and expected participation. So I do really want to say I know how much you all have going on. So anytime if you have questions or you're having challenges in navigating what you're responsible for, please do not hesitate to let me know, and I'd be happy to talk with you about that and help get you through this so that it's a good experience for you all, and you're also learning at the same time. Let's see. I want to take a moment to check in and just thank everyone for turning in your first set of assignments. We'll talk about those in more detail later, but just want to remind you, if you haven't done your assignments, I'll probably do this a couple of times in this blend meetup, to please turn those in. I turn in regular reports to the Corporation for National Community Service, which we're required to do. It lets them know, how our Vistas are doing. So I really want to make sure all of you get those assignments in so you're marked as fully participating. If you haven't gotten any assignments in, I have sent you an email letting you know which assignments aren't turned in, so please just make sure you get those done so they just don't build up through the next several weeks. We'll also remind you about the assignments that are due upcoming this week and next week, of which you have a few. I also want to thank you all for doing the optional activity of the 7 Things About Me session. Activity, it was really, I hope each and every one of you have taken the time to read one another's 7 Things About Me. It takes just a few seconds to read your classmates' 7 things sheets, and I think you'll find that you'll enjoy the experience greatly. You are such a great group of individuals and such a diverse group of experiences and backgrounds. I'm really just awed at the individuals that are part of this class and that are joining in this year of service. So if you haven't done so already, please take some time to read your classmates' 7 Things About Me sheets. And if you haven't completed the 7 Things About Me sheet, again, it's optional, it's not mandatory, but I hope you'll take the time to do it because it helps us learn about one another. And I oftentimes feel like it's those initial things and activities that help us connect better with one another. And you never know, you might connect with someone that you wouldn't have the opportunity to connect with otherwise, and that might spur some future partnerships in this year and beyond. So again, if you haven't done so already, please feel free to do so because we'd love to learn more about you. Also, if you haven't done so, if you can post your photo to your profile page or image of sorts, some of you have chosen some really great images, feel free to do so. I think it also adds a personal element when we see your photos next to your responses. And all of you are participating really fully, and I really appreciate it as you're commenting to people's posts, contributing to the discussion in the 7 Things About Me and the poverty measurement video. regarding people's Vista assignment description submissions. You're really engaging in some interesting dialogue in addition to the minute message that I really want to acknowledge and appreciate very much. And finally, about the assignments, again, I'll talk about those again momentarily. But with the minute message, I just want to remind you all that a part of the requirement was to submit a video in addition to the script. And so if you haven't done the video portion, I would like to ask that you try to complete that by the end of the week so we can. It gives you an opportunity to practice talking verbally in front of others, but it also allows us, again, just another way to get to know one another in a more non-virtual way. So if you can do that, I would greatly appreciate it. And again, that was just a part of the assignment to do the video portion and the script. So let's also, I'd love to, I know most of you all do not know each other, although some of you are connecting already in the Blend course, which I think is just fabulous. I'd like to ask you all if you can mark on the map that you see here where you all are serving, and if you don't see your annotation tools, you can access them on the far left-hand side of the screen by clicking on the, it looks like a pencil icon, and if you click on that, you can then mark where you are on the map. So if you could take a moment and do that, you can click on the arrow and mark yourself on the map. You can also hit the capital A and lowercase a, type in the organization where you're serving, do as you want, and that way we can see where each other is placed in this year. I'll start with me. So if you could take just a minute to do that, greatly appreciate it. I think I realized that I didn't do something correctly, so just 1 second. Sign all privileges. Well, it looks like I have. Let me try that again. If you all can go ahead and try that again, hit the annotation tool. There we go. Hit that pencil mark, hit the arrow, and thank you. Put it on the map. I looked like I hadn't given you access where I thought I had, so thank you. All right, we're popping up everywhere. Looks like a lot of us are kind of clustered in some certain regions of the country. Let's take a few more seconds to get everyone up on the map. Thank you for doing this. Great. Looks like some of you all are serving in some common states, and others of you are serving by yourself in a few states. Regardless of whether you're on your own in this class in a state by yourself or serving with multiple vistas in one state, there are many opportunities for you all to connect with one another. So first of all, I do hope that you all in this Blend course take the opportunity to find out where your Class B vistas are serving. Maybe this will be a starting point for you to see some commonalities, but if you look at the 7 Things About Me sheet, or if you look at the Vista assignment descriptions, you're going to start to learn where your fellow vistas are serving. It could be that they're serving in the same city, same state, or same multi-site project, or that maybe some of your vistas, whether they're in the same state or not, are doing very similar activities, and that connection is really important. So I hope you all use the Blend course as an opportunity to start making those connections, because one of the greatest things that I found about national service in the year that I served and in the 20 years I've been in it since is that the great opportunity to connect with others who are doing similar work or have similar goals and passions. And that not only makes our year of service much easier in that we can learn from one another and share resources, but it also helps for future connections. And I think you'll find that if you can connect in this year, you will have relationships that will go beyond this year of service that can help you both in your personal and professional lives. The blend course is also not the only opportunity where you all can connect. So I want to show you talk about a couple of other opportunities. What you see here is a screenshot of the Connect and Learn, one of the Connect and Learn resources in the Vista campus. So right now you all are navigating within 2 online places. The blend portion is for your pre-service orientation, where you're navigating through orientation, your field assignments, and working with your fellow Class B participants. But there's also the Vista campus, which is where you've been in to take some initial courses before you got started, and where you all are going to be navigating throughout in this year as you take different webinars, look for resources. And I want to make sure you know about a couple of opportunities where you can connect and learn. So this is a screenshot of the Vista map, which is a resource on the Connect and Learn link. I'll try to draw a little circle around that. In the Connect and Learn, you can pull up the Vista map, which you see here, and you can place yourself on it. So if you haven't done so already, I hope you do that. And what you'll find then is that you can locate other Vistas that are currently serving in your area, and also alums that may still be in your area, people who have already served in Vista. And that's a great opportunity to also connect with Vistas in a really meaningful way. So you have your blend course group, and then you have your larger world of Vistas that are placed throughout the country that may have participated in other orientations that you haven't had the opportunity to meet yet. So I hope all of you all will go to that. In addition, there's several different, for lack of a better word, kind of discussion forums. I don't know if I'm calling it the right word, but discussion forums where you all can ask questions, can connect with other Vistas. It could be just about how to navigate this year of service on your living allowance, or it could be specific questions you're having about your service activities. And there's different groups that you can pose questions to. In addition to, you can see past conversations, which I found really helpful as Vistas have asked me questions. I frequently go back to the discussion forum to find resources that other Vistas have shared. And in addition to on the Connect and Learn, which I'll remind you of on our Week 4 meetup, you have opportunities to attend different webinars that the Corporation for National Community Service will be putting on, and different opportunities to participate in some potential courses that are provided throughout the year. So really pay attention to that and visit it regularly so you can converse with other Vistas or learn from other Vistas. So again, I just want to do a final check-in just as a reminder that there were some activities that you all should have already completed. The 7 Things About Me, which was optional, but I really appreciate all of you all doing it, and a few of you still haven't done it, so I'd like to encourage you to do that. And then you had your 3 assignments of the minute intro, the VAD worksheet, and how poverty is measured video. And I appreciate all of you all have completed those 3 assignments. Again, if you haven't done so, I've sent you an email to remind you of the need to complete it. And if you have any questions, I am here, and you can contact me through the Blend course. Just send me a direct communication through the message opportunity, and I'd be happy to chat with you and help you figure out how to get everything complete. I want to just briefly talk about the Vista assignment description activity and talk to you just a little bit about the Vista assignment description itself. So you all had a great opportunity to start really immersing yourself in really understanding deeply your assignment description, which is really, I consider it your roadmap to your year. It's a living document that was submitted and approved prior to you coming on board. It is saved electronically in a government form, and it is like your key to success. It is really a roadmap for helping you to understand specifically what are your activities in your year and what they are working to ultimately support. So I hope that this was an activity that helped you get more immersed into it and to understand your year in a more meaningful way. But I also want to acknowledge that if you haven't figured this out already, that you're likely to have a lot of still remaining questions about what it is that you're doing in your year, and that's completely expected for all of you all. So as you went through your Vista assignment description, I hope it also raised some really important questions that you can have a conversation with your supervisor about. The document is really a guide for you, but it's also an opportunity to engage in conversation with your supervisor about questions that you may have, about learnings that you need to experience so that you will be successful in your year. Of utmost importance is really ensuring you understand the activities that are outlined for you. The member activities, we'll kind of do a little shot here, these pieces here, but also really understanding how those activities contribute to the overall objective and goal of the project. So making sure that you really understand the connection to how your activities are going to help build the capacity of your organization to ultimately address poverty. And so I hope that you will not only write out remaining questions that you have to talk with your supervisor about, but also you'll keep this document with you always and take a moment regularly to reflect on it, to read it, to go back to it, to make sure you're on track to complete the activities that you are being tasked with doing, because this is your official document that you will be expected to show progress on throughout your year. With that, I'd like to just take the opportunity also to ask about, questions that may have come up for you. So if you could just respond in the chat window. So if you can pull up the chat box and just respond with an answer to the following question. What questions or confusions do you still have about your VAD, if any? So again, knowing that all of you probably had some questions or maybe some concerns that you had, I'd like you to take the opportunity to post those in the chat. So what questions or concerns, if any, do you have after you've gone through your Vista assignment description and participated in the field assignment that you had to complete with the blend course? So we'll take a few minutes to get your all responses in the chat. So again, click on the chat function on the top right-hand side of your screen and send to everyone your response to that question. And we'll just wait another minute for everyone to send your responses. If you can do so to everyone, that would be great. So a lot of you are saying you don't have questions right now, so that's good. I'm sure questions will come as you get started, and that's so true. Thanks, Julian. I see a question from Joanne. I'll come to that in just a second as I'm just reading the others. All right, it sounds like you all are navigating through this start pretty well. Questions that you may have will come up later as you're acknowledging. Some of you may have questions about specific assignments on the blend side, so that's great. If you have those questions, send to me. Great. Also, so one of the questions that Julianne posted, hope I'm saying your name right, is, oh no, it wasn't Julianne. Hold on, let me go back. These things are like scrolling so fast, it's hard to keep up with it. That Joanne submitted, what's the best way to recognize the service gaps in her area, which is Manhattan, Kansas? I think that's a great question, and some of you might have some responses you can type in the chat box too. I think doing one of the ways that I've worked to determine where both assets and gaps are is to doing an assessment of sorts. If it's not been done already, there may have already been assessments done in your community that you can access. It'd be a great question to ask your organization, your supervisor, to see what's already been done, and he or she also may have some suggestions on ways to do that if it hasn't been done. But there's some great resources out there on assessments that help you learn more about what is and is not happening. One of my favorites, of course, is Mobilizing Communities from the Inside Out. It's by Kretzmann and McKnight, and they have a great website that talks about how to map assets and gaps in your community, because oftentimes we look at our communities as points of deficit, and also there are great assets that we can build on. So I'll write that in the chat and send it to everyone just so you all have that. I've said it verbally, but I'll make sure that I send it to you all in the chat so each of you has it. And you can do a quick Google search and find it. They're out of Chicago, just for your information. There you go. I just sent it on to you all. Great. And, you know, this also brings up a great note, too, that's important to express. So you all have, during this blend time, an opportunity to ask me questions individually, but also ask questions of the group. Also want to make sure that you all know that your first point of contact as it relates to your specific assignment activities, as many of you have noted in the chat function, is your site supervisor. So your site supervisor is your first point of contact. You should be, if you haven't done so already, scheduling regular check-ins, particularly at the beginning of your year. You know, maybe that you can have less check-ins as the year progresses, but you should ask for and receive ongoing supervision and time to meet with your supervisor about any questions or confusions you're having, any areas of challenge, and also opportunities to discuss your progress and how things are going. And that is your first point of contact. But also, again, your blend course is an opportunity to ask questions directly of me and also ask questions of your fellow classmates. Maybe they have some great ideas that you'd like to solicit some advice from, and you can use the course discussion forum as a way to do that. And I hope you all will take that opportunity, because many of you all are doing similar types of activities, even though maybe the focus of your service could be very different, and that happens frequently. Great. Thank you for your chat and for responding in that chat box function. So let's just talk about the upcoming work. So as a reminder, and I'll send a reminder again on Friday just to make sure that you all are getting these regularly, and just to remind you that things are due, and because I know you have a lot going on and things can slip through the cracks. This week you have your on-site orientation and training checklist that is due on Sunday, the same time as your previous assignments were due. It's a worksheet that allows you an opportunity to get to know your organization and your community a little bit better, and to really ask some important questions that we have, over time realized that are essential to Vista's success, that supervisors and past Vistas have said overwhelmingly. These are information pieces that are important for Vistas to know in order to acclimate well into their organization and community. And then the week after this week, on the following Sunday, you have two assignments that are due that are specifically related to poverty, which I know you all actually will find to be very informative and very interesting. The past blend courses that I've helped to facilitate have been rich in discussion and learning, particularly on these two assignments. So you all will have an opportunity to watch a longer video of about 13 lessons about poverty, and the assignment will ask you to follow up with that, of that watching that you do of the video with an image and a verbal in writing response that you post to the group, and also respond to other Vistas posts. And then you have the community profile, which will allow you to learn more about your community and what poverty specifically looks like there. A note about the community profile, sometimes depending upon the area that you're in, if it's rural versus city, or if you're doing multiple areas, use the community profile as a guide, but some sites may be easier for you to use than others based upon where you are geographically. So if you're struggling with certain sites, let me know, or feel free to also use other sites that you find to be more useful. I really want to make sure that you all use the community profile as an important guide to help you learn, so make it work for you. Again, if you're having troubles with certain sites because of your geographical layout or area, then feel free to use other sites that you might find useful in addition to the ones that are posted there. So with that said, the remainder of our time can be used to answer questions that you all may have. You're hitting the ground running, and you're engaging in a race that will last for a year, and hopefully this beginning time of orientation will help you get started successfully. So I'm going to devote the rest of the time to just answering questions that you all may have, either about the assignments themselves, the blend orientation, or any just questions you're having as you navigate your year. So if you don't have any more questions, you can sign off in just a minute as I close the group out, and otherwise you can stay on the line and listen to questions that other Vistas have, or you can just use the time to ask questions of me. So thank you for being on the meetup today. I really appreciate your participation, knowing that this was on, particularly knowing this was on a different day than what you had originally heard. But again, the correct dates and times for our 2 meetups, including week 4, are posted in the blend course. They've been that way correctly since you started. And you all can look to see the correct date and time for week 4. It's listed there, and it is different from the Wednesday that you were told originally. So make sure you check that out, put it on your calendar so you can be present. And with that said, if you don't have any questions, again, feel free to log off at this time. Otherwise, stay on, and I'm happy to answer questions that you all have. So you can post it in the chat window or ask verbally. Unmute yourself and ask verbally. Okay, so I see a couple of questions already. So do we have another web meeting for us on week 4? There is no other right now large group Vista webinar that I know of. You all participated in the 2 required ones in week 1, although we'll get regular emails letting you know about other webinar opportunities that will be coming up in the future that are around like professional development and helping you get acclimated to the start of your year. So we will have one more meetup just like this one that you will join by going into the blend course in week 4 on the date that's posted in the blend, and you can log on through there, and it's a web-based meeting and a phone meeting. All right, with that said, we'll end the meeting. Thank you, everyone, for your time, and I look forward to talking to you in a couple of weeks and in the blend over the next few weeks. Take care.